Well, hello to all my animal crazy lover friends and the Vital Animal Health tribe. I want to speak today because we are moving into that time, if you celebrate Halloween, where fireworks and crazy noises and people in scary costumes um, can bring up a lot of anxiety and fear in our animal companions, especially our dogs and cats. And here's the thing that we all know is that when animals are afraid and they cannot create safety for themselves, they can act out of fear in dangerous ways because they're afraid and they're trying to escape. And I think that's really what makes times like Halloween and Guy Fawkes and New Year celebrations, or even things like thunderstorms, or any situation that's unfamiliar or scary for your animal because perhaps they've had old trauma with that. I mean, it could be a hose pipe when you turn it on and the noise of the water spraying out, or just the sight of a hose pipe that isn't normally there that can spook a horse. And I just, going back to the Halloween thing, when there are children screaming and in the streets, and there's noises and whizzing and booming of fireworks and just really loud noises. Remember too, our animals, especially our dogs and prey animals, flight animals like horses and cats, it can really bring up a lot of terror for them, especially if they cannot run away from that noise. So if there is that danger and they feel trapped, that's when they can crash through sliding doors, or kick down their stable door if they're a horse, and go running out into the traffic because they're trying to escape, and where they can really sustain some very life-threatening injuries, or outright kill themselves. And I've seen this for myself the night after these kind of celebrations when I volunteer at the shelters, just how far-reaching and devastating those impacts can be. If you think how sensitive dogs' hearing is, and the noises are loud, those bangs are loud for us, how they must sound to animals. And I've seen animals that have impaled themselves on barbed wire, or chewed their own feet off to try and escape the noises because they're crashing through fences, or just trying to get away, or animals that are tearing off their nails and making their feet bleed, trying to dig through floors or the bottom of their crates, just to get away. Or other animals that kill themselves, literally eating their way through walls and ingesting objects that they shouldn't. And it's gruesome, I know, but I want to speak to this, as uncomfortable and as painful as it may be. If you've had an animal that has survived a traumatic event like this, just know animals don't find fireworks fun or exciting. It's outright terrifying for them, and often way too much for even the most passive, chilled, balanced Kapha dogs that are very connected to the ground and very calm under normal circumstances. So it's not surprising, is it, that dogs who startle and jump at thunder trying to escape smoke alarms or fire alarms or car alarms, or in South Africa there's always alarms going off all the time, and when it's constant, chronic, unpredictable, toxic stress, just like us. I talk about this in the ACE study, and how when we're not able to come down off that hyper vigilant state as children, we tend to shut down. And it's the same for animals. Or in my animal communication course, we talk about how to expand a collapsed zone, because literally what happens is the being, whether it's human or animal, when there's a shock and trauma system, we leave the body, and the body collapses in on itself. The nervous system shuts down because it can't fight back and it can't run away. So, this is really important to really understand how to work with nervous system and be able to create calm and peace for your animal, regardless of what's going on around them. And why I almost am becoming insistent that the trust process is a prerequisite for anybody that wants to work with PTSD or trauma resolution with animals or people, or even, if you're a body worker, a behavioralist specialist, or you're an animal communicator, knowing how to set the stage to create a container where you can hold the energy for that collapsed zone, for that animal or person that is in shutdown or is in learned helplessness, by saying to them, you can be peaceful here. You can rest here. I've got you. And really, that foundation of establishing trust is such a beautiful place where healing can actually begin. And, if you do have a dog or a cat or a horse that does spook easily, there is another video, I'll link it to in my YouTube account, on how you can use various ways way before. We're talking about where the event that is predictable, that it's coming, so that you can prepare beforehand and get your space settled and make sure that you have your first aid of Bach remedies, like what's it called? Rescue remedy, or have your soothing music on, or be able to create a space where you can meditate with your animal and lead by example, that when you're peaceful, that your animal can be peaceful. And I know we can't get it in South Africa, but there's a wonderful calming solution for dogs called Calmest. And also there's amazing essential oils that you can use either in a humidifier in the room, or to dilute it and use them, like Valor, which allows animals to be brave in any sort of situation. And there's a whole symptom to Bach remedy or flower essence that you can use if you know that your animal is it takes a long time. Is it agrimony that you're going to use? What are you going to use? So be sure to take a look at that over at my website. It's In the Pause for Raw Whole Food for Happy, Healthy Animals. And if you are in America, use your muscle testing and see, is it calmest that your animal needs, or is Rescue Remedy a better match, or is CBD a better match? And don't trust me, don't trust the data, trust your animal to tell you what they need. There's a whole way that animals self-select when you start to work with zoo pharmacology, like essential oils and tissue salts and amino acids and even food within the animal communication class, being human through animals. So just remember that it's very easy to lose your dog as well if they panic and bolt out the door on Halloween or on New Year or whatever time of the year it is, or even if there's just a thunderstorm or a big storm coming. To create safety for your animals, get their crate if you have them in a crate as a place of safety, or make sure that you've got a box with your cat's favorite blanket in it, in a dark place where you can play some quiet music. As I said, I listed a whole lot of solution based ideas for you to follow in the other video, but just do whatever you can. It doesn't matter what type of animal you have. Birds are a whole another story, especially if they're in a cage. Same thing applies with them. Don't leave your animals at risk during these kind of crazy celebrations like the Day of the Dead. Just be prepared, because all of it is just too much for your animal companion's nervous system to handle. And the more that you can prepare and create your best efforts to protect your animal's mental health and their nervous system health, with training, with soothing music and a safe place, it won't be enough. So, really look at an integrative, holistic approach on how you can best support your animal. And if you're in doubt, go ahead and book an exploratory session with me so that we can see what your animal's mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical needs are, and leave with a plan that's going to make you confident and really calm in the choices that you're making, to ensure that your animal stays safe. And if you like this video, please share it with other animal lovers. The more that we can do this, the less we impact and burden shelters that are really dealing with animals that are strays or really are in need of help to do their job without having that extra burden of then trying to tend to animals that have really hurt themselves in trying to get away from all of this noise. And if you like this video, if you'd like to know more, I'm curious, what else would you like to know about how to keep your animals vital, healthy, and build strong immunity to really optimize a long, happy, healthy life? Post that in the comments below. I'd love to know what you'd like to know more about. And if you're a cat lover, be sure to check out how to help your cats to calm themselves in situations that make them very anxious. And I'll see you back here for more goodness, for more love. And just remember, trust that you're enough for your animal. And trust that you're not alone, that there's incredible support out there to really help you and assist you in being the best guardian for yourself and also a steward for the wild ones. All right, take care. Bye.